Hey, so just a little bit about politics, just a tiny bit. I'm not going to go on and on and on. But I was really excited when Tulsi announced that she's going to leave the Democrats and she's not going to be a Democratic voter anymore and all this stuff and be involved in the Democratic. Um, I was like, oh, yay, maybe she'll come over towards the, libertarian side and be a libertarian and, hopefully, with all her posts about opposing all this and exposing all this and being against big government and against the wars we keep getting ourselves into and pulled into and all this shenanigans and nonsense, maybe she'll be a libertarian. And I was so excited. And then the disappointment when I saw that she is still involved with WEF, the Young Globalist. So she is not what she is professing. She is just a liar, just like all the politicians. And I should have known, she's just a mouthpiece. I don't know why she's going on Fox News so much. I feel like she's trying to manipulate and trying to show one thing when in fact she's another. So I don't trust Tulsi anymore, and I unfollowed her on everything. So it's so disappointing. I really had hopes for her. I thought she is against big government. She is against all this. Maybe she'll be a libertarian. I hope she goes to the Libertarian Party since she's leaving the Democratic Party, but she's a liar. She's probably still a Democrat. Her big, announcement was probably just for attention seeking. She's just full of crap. So, the WEF, I almost want to call it WTF because it is like, what the fuck, but it's it's Young Globalist, and it's young, look up what this is. It's basically putting us in a new world order. It's predicted in the Bible. We already know it's going to happen. I think everybody was thinking maybe this would happen at the time of the Antichrist, and when, the rapture happens and, Christians wouldn't have to deal with this. And, I don't know. I don't know if Jesus is coming now or whatever. He said the signs are this, like the signs of Jonah, and look for wars, rumor of wars and all this stuff. And, the thing is though, is we're always being pulled into a war. Or creating a war thanks to our CIA. So I don't know. I really, I know you have to be prepared, just in case, And as far as doom prepping, I haven't doom prepped. I think if I was to doom prep though, I would stock up if I were you, and if you were doom prepping because you are afraid of global fallout or a real World War III happening, and if Russia attacks like Texas or another big state such as Arizona or Alaska. Alaska's our biggest state of the Union. So if they attacked Alaska, where we do actually have pipelines and oil reserves, we would be screwed. And at one time Alaska did actually belong to Russia. So it would kind of make sense that they would want to retake that, to me, logically, but I hope that's not the case. I really hope that our fears are just fears, just like the 2012 thing and the 1999 turning into 2000 thing. I hope that this is just fears. I hope that it's not going to manifest. But if I was somebody who was going to prep, I think food and water, yeah, that's smart. I think solid, thick blankets and stuff to protect you, like mattresses and things like that. And, obviously a generator. Those are like, duh, easy peasy type of stuff to get. But I think what people don't realize is medication would be needed, say like penicillin or antibiotics. I myself am allergic to penicillin. So that wouldn't do me any good. But stockpiling antibiotics, I think that would be smart. Stockpile it how you may, do what you would, however. But if I were in someone's shoes that was trying to doom prep, that was legit scared, I would get antibiotics. That would be the first thing I would get, because if you get any kind of sickness and you're trapped, you're screwed. Kind of like the lockdown. You know, when I had the actual coronavirus, I was screwed in trying to get care. I had no medication to treat it. I didn't know how to treat it. I was getting sicker by the minute. And so I think that really did show me the fact that if there was something to happen where I was screwed and I was stuck at home and I needed medication and I couldn't get a doctor to prescribe it, it would be wise to already have it on reserve. So if I were you, that's what I would do. So that's just me thinking. But you know, anything about The Walking Dead, you know, Rick and his gang, what were they always looking for? Medication. So they weren't just looking for canned goods and food. They would also look for medication to treat whatever sickness and virus that was going around. So I think that's really, really smart to do, is to have enough medication, but not like a crazy amount that makes you look crazy or red flag you. But I think having some on reserve would be a smart idea to have, as just in case. So, you know, just a suggestion. But yeah, and the doom preppers, I mean, if you're living in an apartment like me, there's really nowhere for you to go. Like if there's a tornado, you know to go to your bathroom and go in your tub. But as far as a bomb, I mean, here they don't have cellars in Texas. Like in Michigan, we had what was called a basement and a cellar. And so sometimes the cellar would be outside of your house and you would open this door. It was a big, heavy door. And you would like climb down these stairs, and then there was like, it felt really cold because it was underground. And you had like whatever, like, you know, jars of like if you were a person that likes to can stuff like fruits, all your canning would be down there. So that's what my family had. And that's a common thing for, you know, Midwestern people, I think, is to have a cellar or a basement. And so if you don't have an actual cellar or basement, the doom prepping is pretty much stupid, because your structure is going to collapse. There's nothing you could do. I mean, think about it. A bomb would be way more impactful than, well, depending on the level of the tornado. But, you know, it could still, I mean, it could demolish your house that you're stuck in, or your apartment that you're stuck in. And so doom prepping and wasting money might be a waste of time. So you got to think about, is this worth the money? Is this worth the time to do this? Do you know somebody who has a basement or a cellar that you could go to and stay at and crash at if things do go down, you know? So, yeah. And they were talking about like states that would be safe to go to, or not states, countries to go to if World War III breaks out. And one of the countries that was in the top was Switzerland. And I was like, are you flipping kidding me? I've told you over and over, my family were literally expelled from Switzerland. We were a founding family of Switzerland. We were a founding family. I'm a part of a group as recognized as a founding family. That's how legit I am, of Switzerland. And we were exiled from it because of Muslims, who is still dominant in Switzerland. Muslims are still a dominant race and culture and religion in Switzerland. And yes, I am aware of how I'm saying that. It feels like a culture and a race. It does not feel like just people that believe in a particular set of religious views. It is a very I don't want to go into details. I'm not against people that have practiced, because that's all I know, and they grew up in it, like my Irani friend. But there's men that are so abusive, you know. I don't even want to go into it. I mean, I don't think I need to. 9/11 speaks for itself, you know. And my family's experience speaks for itself. You know, I mean, it was very impactful the way my family were expelled from that country, you know, and I do desire to go to it and see the homeland, so to speak. But do I trust that country as a safe country? Even nowadays, they're also the ones that came up with a scholarship for the Young World Order thing, the WEF. So I don't trust Switzerland at all, you know, which is unfortunate. Like I said, my family are a part of the original founders of that country, and it grieves my heart to know that it still hasn't changed, and it's still, you know, it's not neutral. You know, when they say, you know, be neutral like Switzerland, it's not neutral. You can just get away with more shady shit, like having a bank that they're not going to report your, you know, your money to cause you to have to pay more taxes and all that stuff. It's just shady shit because they profit from it. You know, it's shady. It's shady. It's shisty. It's bad. So, no, that would not be a country I would run to if I was in a crisis or to get away from being sucked into this inevitable war that we might be pulled into with Russia, you know. So I don't know. So your guess is as good as mine on what's going to happen. Will Russia try to retake Alaska, which would be smart because we do have pipelines there and oil reserves. It used to belong to Russia. Would they attack that country or that state first? Or would they go for random states, you know, or would they specifically target states like the terrorists did when 9/11 happened? I don't know. You know, I don't know if Texas is a huge state, would be one of them. Who knows, you know? And they may not even care about Texas. They may think, like my typical friends, they ask me if I've had cows. They have no clue. They think stereotypes of cowboys and cows, and I have to educate them. Go, there's not cows everywhere. There's not cowboys everywhere. You see some people that wear cowboy hats, but they have no idea what it is to be country. You know, and in fact, when I was little, there was one time that my family did live on a farm, and we did have a lot of animals. So I'm more country than they are. So it's just, and that was in Michigan. So it's kind of funny when people have their stereotypes and have no clue, you know, about an actual state or culture. But anyway, I have no idea what they're going to do or what's going to happen. So, you know, and England is not innocent. They're probably just as involved as the United States because it seems like they're like twinsies with us on doing shady shit. You know, Churchill was sitting right next to FDR with talks with Stalin, you know, and they were hands in hands with us, with the CIA, with causing all the conflicts with Iran and Iraq, with training them to become what they are now, which are terrorists. They were there with us. So Britain is not innocent. And, you know, they try to act like they're out of the situation. Oh, we're not there. We're not part of this. Yes, you very much are in bed with the United States. And why? Because financial gain. They're always looking for a profit. Just as the United States, greed motivates war. That is the motivator. It is not because of anything else. Well, power too, but those are the two motivators. It's not anything to do with anything else. It's greed and power. That's it in a nutshell. And that's why I think it's a waste of time to get involved in these wars that these leaders put us through. It doesn't profit the general people or the country. It actually depletes it financially. And we only bounce back when the war is over because all that money wasted on equipment, on military, on the stupid leaders, on all the shenanigans entailed, the damages, the physical damages, the mental damages, it's all a waste of money. And then when we're out of the war, of course, our economy starts bouncing back because of the fact we're not draining our finances on something pointless and useless. So, you know, I just can't speak about it enough. And trickle-down theory is the worst economic theory ever to be lied about. That is such horseshit. I still can't believe when people are like, "Oh, Reagan was awesome. He was almost a libertarian." No, he freaking wasn't. He was greedy, and he gave his rich friends tax breaks and said, "Oh, it'll trickle down to the rest of everybody. It'll trickle down to the middle class and the lower class." No, it does not give anybody else breaks but the rich. If there's only tax breaks for the rich, it's only going to benefit the rich. It does not trickle down to anybody else. There is no such thing as trickle down. That doesn't exist. It only exists if he decided to also give tax breaks to the middle class. But no, we're stuck paying all the high taxes while the rich get out of, loopholes like Ozzy and his wife leaving America and claiming it's because whatever, America, and they do stupid stuff and we're against it. Bullshit. They don't want to pay the high taxes that California is now increasing to live in their stupid state, as well as the actual taxes for America. There's two different taxes. There's a state tax for California to live there, and then there's the federal tax. So some states, if you're not aware, some states don't have an actual state tax, so they'll get you in other areas. Like Texas is not innocent. They don't have a state tax, but they do get you in other areas. But so you pay a federal tax, and so when you go to pay or do your taxes each year, you just do your federal taxes that were taken out of your paychecks. So that's what is looked at. So versus California, which can tax you as much as they want. And in reality, that's why Ozzy and his wife left. It wasn't anything to do with anything political. It was because they didn't want to have to deal with the high rising taxes in California, as well as having to pay American taxes, which good luck to them because England also has high taxes. So good luck, enjoy. And as a libertarian, yes, I'm against taxes. I think, people are like, well, how are you going to pay for this and this and this if not taxed? There are ways. That those are just greedy people, manipulating, and that rumor is just circulating around the commoner thinking, that makes sense. We have to have taxes to pay for this. No, you actually don't. There are ways to get money without taxing us out the ass with each paycheck that we work our own hard-earned money to obtain. We obtain that money from working hard just to be taxed to exist. There's taxes on literally everything. A death tax, that makes no sense at all. You're taxed when you die. It's stupid. It's stupid how many taxes that are created that exist in America that was founded on being against taxes. And they created more taxes, and it was created out of greed. And at one time, I don't remember if it was Andrew Garfield, but one of the presidents, sorry, I can't talk because I haven't had caffeine, so excuse my brain. I have brain fog like you wouldn't believe. But anyway, one of our presidents in our history actually paid off our national debt, and we were debt-free, and there was no taxes, and it was the only time that has ever happened in all of our history. I think it was Andrew Garfield. I could be wrong. It might be another president, but it was that far back that we'll never see that again. Thanks, FDR. Thank you. Thank you for pulling us in a direction of creating higher taxes for us and creating a socialist dependency program. Thanks for that. So, and thanks for your friendship with Stalin, who gave you those ideas, and for giving you the idea of social security numbers. Thanks to Hitler for that one. So, and Hitler also came up with the Volkswagen. So, if you enjoy driving those cute little Volkswagen bugs, you can thank Hitler for that one as well. He was a failed artist, so he did have some creativity. But anyway, the number system, that's thanks to him. And Volkswagens are thanks to him. Look it up. So yeah, it's frustrating though. I wish our country wasn't so stupid, but it's bent on greed, and it will stay on greed as long as we have these old croons like Nancy Pelosi and these others, and the people that are getting put into politics that don't belong, like the barmaid AOC. She belongs back behind a bar. She does not belong anywhere near a microphone to talk. especially politically. But she's being used to push an agenda that is obvious. So we are being pushed into a globalist union, whether we like it or not. And there's globalist, young globalists that are being picked for this program. And Tulsi, unfortunately, being involved since 2015 and hasn't left it and is honored to be a part of it. So she's full of horse shit. I'm really, really disappointed. I really had hopes in her. I really liked her. I was like really gunning for her and thinking, oh, she's going to be a libertarian, maybe even a conservative libertarian. We so need this. This would be awesome. And not the case. She's just a liar. I wouldn't be surprised if she's still a registered Democrat and still a Democratic candidate and voter and whatever. She just lies. She's part of the Democratic Party. I don't believe her. I don't believe her. So, but it breaks my heart. You know, she has so many people that want to believe in her and back her, and she's just full of shit. She's full of shit. She just says stuff to get attention, and that's it. And it's trying to say stuff to sound like she cares, and she doesn't. So it's really disappointing. I really had hopes for her, and she's no different than the rest of the politicians. So rethink yourself if you like Tulsi, because she's not a good person. She's not. None of the politicians are. All of them are involved in something bad and corrupt. They all are. They're not good. Our politics, especially in America, so corrupt, so greedy, so filthy. There's just no getting around it. There's not one that's good, that's serving, or that wants to be a politician. Their motives are also bad, so I don't trust them either. I don't have anything to do with people that need funding to run for a candidate position for Congress, for Senate, for anything. I don't trust any of those people, and I don't trust their agenda. They just look at that 6-figure income and the free benefits for life, and that motivates them. And then the idea of, oh, I could possibly become wealthy from this position and make more than a 6-figure income if I rub the elbows with the right people and do enough corrupt stuff. So pass on all that. I'm just not even interested. So anyway, that's it. Thanks for watching my spiel.